Yes, people, welcome back to the 1894. I'm Hugh and I've got Joe here with me for the City versus Everton review. A 5-0 win for the Blues on the final day of the Premier League season. A really emotional day, really. Full of ups, full of downs. Let's get right into our thoughts. Okay, so as I said, a 5-0 win for the Blues. I don't think we could have asked for much more, Joe, really. We said before the game, this is going to be a massive opportunity to boost the confidence going into that big Champions League final next week. Every little percentage of advantage counts, is what I said. And that's exactly what happened. Some fantastic performances and an overall really good team performance. Everyone looked really, really hungry. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, you could definitely see that we were a level above Everton. That was one of the best games of football I think I've seen from us, at least recently, maybe this season. We were at it from minute one, 2-0 up at half time. It was just what we want to see in the final. Start early, don't start slowly like we have done sometimes this season. You know, there were players there that you could see were trying to maybe play their way in, if not play their way into Pep's thoughts for, changing the game at any point next week. So yeah, I mean, players were at it, and that's all you can ask for really next week.
In terms of on the pitch, like all I can say is it was just a really good performance. Joe kind of summed it up there fairly well, saying everyone's trying to possibly play their way into the Champions League final team sheet, even though I'll be fairly confident Pep already knows exactly who he's playing. We wanted our big players to come into fruition today and put in big performances so they can build their confidence. De Bruyne getting himself a goal, Phil Foden got himself a goal. It was just a really good performance, and it's exactly what we needed today to go into that Champions League final. But I think the overall emotion of today was aimed towards Sergio Aguero. Yes, a fantastic occasion lifting a Premier League trophy. We all enjoyed that so much. They're really special days. The fifth for him, the fifth for the club since he's arrived. An absolutely amazing achievement. But I think saying goodbye to the legend that is Sergio Aguero was kind of it hit me harder than I thought it would, because we've known for so long now that he's going to leave. But when I saw the presentations, the interviews, Pep crying in his interview, that really hit home. It's going to be tough. And I think I saw Jamie Redknapp or Mika Richards saying he possibly could have played another year. Maybe there's room for another contract there. But then again, Pep made it perfectly clear you just have to move on. And you could tell it hurt Pep. You could tell it hurt Pep. He paid homage to Joe Hart and David Silva, and he says players like that are the reason the club is where it is. So it was a sad one. It was a bittersweet kind of day. Sweet lifting the trophy, bitter or sad. Maybe bitter is not the word. Saying goodbye to Aguero. Joe, what did you think of the whole send off for Aguero, and what are your thoughts on the whole thing, really?
I mean, you couldn't have asked for more, really. He walked out after the trophy had been given out, after they'd all got their medals. He walked out with the trophy. They put a montage on the big screen from former teammates, managers, ex-players who used to play before Aguero came. So, overall, I mean, I don't think there could have been any better send-off, really. We won 5-0. He scored 2 goals, broke a record. Puts himself in contention for the final to at least get off the bench, providing he's fit. So the only better way he can go out is if we do win the final.
His confidence will probably be at the highest point it's been at in maybe a year or two now, because today we said he had the opportunity to equalise or break Wayne Rooney's record for most goals scored for one Premier League club, and he did that. He came on with about 20-25 minutes to go, banged 2 goals, 2 really good goals as well. They were both kind of vintage Aguero. A header was unbelievable, and then he left the defenders for dead when he scored his first one. Just really, really quality Aguero goals. What you want your out-and-out striker to do. And we probably don't have any other players in the club, maybe bar Phil Foden, capable of doing those sort of things. So maybe he probably has put his name in the hat for featuring the final. If we're in desperate need of a goal in the dying embers of the game, Pep might call on Aguero on the basis that he has now scored 2 goals. He came into the club, scored 2 goals the first day, and now he's leaving the club, scored 2 goals on the last day. So an amazing day for him, a sad day for the club to say goodbye to him, but we feel so grateful. We're so grateful to have witnessed and enjoyed a legend that was Sergio Aguero. So I think that is the main talking points of today. Obviously, Premier League trophy, great success, all round great performances. I think it was the first game in quite a while where the players looked like they were really hungry for a result or good individual performances, because today was, like I said before in the preview, the last chance for them to put themselves in the shop window to feature in the final. So everyone looked like they really wanted it, and it just worked. Even the goalkeeper Ederson getting himself a penalty save. Diaz was really good. Zinchenko's really good. But we'll talk a bit more about that now in a second, the player ratings. But overall, it's a really, really good team performance. So let's move over to our player ratings now and see what we gave everyone. Okay, so player ratings is obviously something we love doing. The player ratings, we love analysing who we thought played well, who we thought played bad, but today is an exceptional circumstance. Literally everyone played well or played at least good. Do you know what I mean? Everyone was either excellent or good. There were no performances where you'd say, oh, that's not great from him, or he's capable of doing better. Everyone looked really hungry, and the collective unit, the celebrations when Aguero scored, everyone's really on form. The confidence seems to be high. The spirits seem to be high. So we gave Ederson a 10 based on the fact that he saved a penalty at a stage where the game was still in the balance. Everton possibly could have crawled their way back in had they scored that. Zinchenko 8, Diaz 8, Stones 9, and Walker 9. A really solid defensive performance. Obviously, we gave away that penalty. One little mistake. I'd rather they get it out of their system today than maybe it happening in a Champions League final. Perfectly fine. And then Ederson made a fine save. Joe, thoughts on the defence and our player ratings there?
It's another clean sheet in the Premier League. Edison, the highest rating, I think deservedly, because, penalty save, no, I mean, that's their best chance that they had. I think Calvert-Lewin was through at one point. I can't remember if he made a save from that, but Everton really didn't have a sniff. So, yeah, our defence was really good again. We're getting used to saying that now.
Yeah, the defense it's actually been the key to our success this season. Whatever about players like Foden and De Bruyne absolutely shining on their days and scoring great goals, none of this is possible at all without the fantastic defensive performances from certain players, particularly Diaz, who's absolutely revolutionized Manchester City defense in comparison to what it was in the past. Moving into the midfield, Fernandinho a 9, De Bruyne a 10, and then Foden, who played midfield today, a 9. Midfield were absolutely fantastic, and I always say midfield. Your midfield performances are what decide whether you win or lose games, and we won the midfield battle today. Fernandinho is 100%, I have no doubt, starting the Champions League final. He looks absolutely fantastic, possibly in the form of his life. The guy is looking unbelievable for a 36-year-old. De Bruyne, we gave a 10 to because he was absolutely phenomenal. He got the first goal, I think it was in the first few minutes, an unbelievable De Bruyne-esque finish. It's typical him. He got the ball sort of on the edge of the box, and he just calmly passed it into the far bottom corner. So a really good performance from him. Foden as well got himself a goal. Looks really, really good. He's going to be crucial for the Champions League final. Gave him a 9. It was just a really good midfield performance. There's not much more I can say. All I can ask for is that they do the exact same again next week. If they do the exact same as they did today next week against Chelsea, I know it's a tougher task. We will have a much better chance of winning the Champions League. Joe, the midfield.
I mean, yeah, you're spot on there. If you control the midfield, there's a high chance that you win the game, especially with the amount of the ball that we like to have. It's crucial that ball retention is maintained to a high standard. De Bruyne, even though he's been out for the last couple of games, showed that, he is still quality, and that did little to derail him in terms of the final. A goal and an assist, you couldn't ask for more. Thought he was really good moving back into midfield, but obviously I think we'd all like to see him move further forward so we can get someone like a Gundogan or a Bernardo in there. Foden moved into midfield. I think, he's showing how versatile he can be, playing all across the front three or in the midfield. And then Fernandinho just seems to defy the odds with the fact that he is 36 and he's just putting in performances, and I think it's impossible to look past him for the final now.
Absolutely. And I saw Mika Richards interview Phil Foden after the game, and he said, where do you like playing the most? And Phil Foden said, I don't know. But he said, I am really enjoying my time in the wing, and I think the wing is where he'll play against Chelsea. He'll be on the team sheet, definitely, but it'll most likely be the wing, which is the reason that our next man here, Sterling, will probably not start. We give Sterling an 8. He has improved big time. We saw glimpses today of what Sterling is very good at. He got in behind defenders. We were throwing balls over the top for him to run onto. He was using his pace. Didn't get a goal, fair enough. Didn't I think he might have got an assist or two, if I'm not mistaken. And it was just it was a better performance. He's building, he's getting better, and I think he's starting to adapt to this sort of different style of play. City, the false nine system makes you do play. The more pass and more build up. It's not so much route one, fast paced football, and he's getting better at it. And he's just adapting. Jesus, we have a 9 to one of his better performances. If your viewers here for a long time, we are generally big critics of Gabriel Jesus because we feel he's not consistent enough. But today was one of his days. Got himself a really, really good goal, and one he should be very proud of because it's something he's been lacking in his locker for a long, long time. Just clinicality in front of goal and putting the ball to bed and getting the result, really, which is what you want from a striker or a false nine or whatever you want to call it. So good performance from him. And Mahrez, an 8. He had a good performance too. Really, I know I probably sound like a broken record here, but genuinely, if you watch the game, you know what I mean. Everyone on the pitch was at the very least good, if not excellent. Some players excellent, some players good. It was just a really good all-round team performance. Probably not the front three we will see start exactly against Chelsea, Joe, but what did you think of them today?
I thought, like you said, no one really deserves a low rating because you've just won 5-0 on the last day of the season. So it's impossible to give anyone, too low a rating. But, Sterling and Mahrez an assist each, they were maybe a bit quieter compared to the rest of the forward players, but not to say that they were bad. They had their moments. Jesus, again, one of his better games. He started up front. He did well. Great finish for the goal. He was on the ball a lot more than the other two. He was drifting out wide. When Aguero came on, he went out wide. You could see that he just is so much more comfortable in a wider position. So I think in the future, you've got to look at something like maybe playing him out wide and him fighting for that position instead.
Absolutely. It was just an all round good performance. And the reason the front three probably didn't shine as much as they have done in recent weeks or months, whatever, is because the midfield of De Bruyne, Fernandinho, and Foden absolutely stole the show. The three of them absolutely exceptional. So moving on to the subs, we gave Rodri a 7 and Torres a 7. Neither of them had much time to really impact the game. It was just kind of like get some minutes in the legs for Rodri, who may feature in some shape or form in the Champions League. Torres, it was just great to see him come on. He's had a decent season considering the circumstances. Moving to a new country, speaking a different language, contracting coronavirus. He's one for the future, and he didn't have much impact in the game today. Can't really ask much more from him. And then finally, the star beside his name, Sergio Aguero, our man of the match. We gave him a score out of 10 of 184. Why, you may ask? Because today he scored his 184th 183rd and 184th Premier League goal for Manchester City, breaking the record for most goals for a single club in the Premier League. He is the king. He is the biggest legend City have ever had. And he finished off in style. He signed out in style. He left the Etihad, got a great reception, and he fully deserves it. What did you think of subs, or more specifically Aguero?
Well, if I get Rodri and Torres out of the way with first, I think it was good of Pep to bring off Foden. I was saying on the live stream that they did on Louis XI's channel that one of Foden or De Bruyne for me had to come off because the game was won. They for me are the first two names on the team sheet at the moment. They have to be. They're just so good, and making sure you've got at least one of them available is crucial. Torres coming on, I think he had his Brighton game ruined by the fact that he had to come off in a great game against Newcastle, so good to get him some minutes, albeit not much. And then obviously Aguero coming on, scoring 2 goals, breaking that record. I mean, last ever home game, great send-off in front of the fans, which is a big step forward in terms of moving forward. But I mean, what more can you say? He's finished off in style. Could he have had a hat-trick? Maybe, but 2 goals isn't bad, really, is it?
No, he finished off in style. He signed out in style, like I said. And we have a very special video for Sergio Aguero coming out at some stage next week, around the kind of time of the Champions League final. A very special and very different to the content we usually make. So do stay ready for that. Listen, it was just a really good day. Honest to God, we couldn't have asked for much more. A 5-0 win to finish off the domestic campaign and carry on to the last one. One more game of the season, lads. The Champions League final, the one that has eluded us for so many years. We now are 90 minutes away from securing that. So do stay tuned on the channel here. We'll have plenty of content around that. So yeah, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. We've just hit 235 subs. Thank you all so much for your support. We really, really appreciate it. Do subscribe if you're new, though. We'd love to hit 250 maybe at some stage in the next few weeks. And we will be around in the summer as well, doing streams maybe for Euros. So we're not going anywhere. Just because the season's ending doesn't mean the content's ending. So yes, join the Discord as well. Just link in the description. Join that if you want. Thanks again for watching. And we will see you next week for probably the biggest week, the most exciting week in the club's history. Good night. God bless.